Year 10, it's Miss Markwell. I hope you all had such a lovely Easter. We're going to now start off with our new home learning, and this is what it's going to look like over the coming weeks. So, as the instructions said on Show My Homework, each week there will be a video, just like the one I'm about to show you right now on YouTube, that you'll follow. At different points, I may ask you to pause the video to complete the questions or to complete an activity. So please just pause the video and make sure you've got your book and some pen and paper at the ready to complete the tasks listed. Once you've completed this PowerPoint, please go back onto Show My Homework and answer the questions that relate to it. And you'll see on Show My Homework, I've also put some stretch and challenge tasks, such as the culinary task and the questions that you can do on Seneca. So please make use of everything that's there. So to get started, we're going to be looking at healthy eating guidelines today, and that's going to form the basis of our learning this term. So if you could please write down the driving question at the top of your page. It is, what is meant by a healthy diet? So you might want to pause the video at this point. So, two really important keywords and definitions for us to get our heads around before we start. There's differences. We've got a balanced diet and we've got dietary guidelines. So as you can see from the definitions, a balanced diet is a healthy diet that is balanced. Therefore, you've got all the necessary nutrients needed for your body so that you can maintain your body functions and you can maintain normal physical activity. However, dietary guidelines are what we're going to focus on today, and they are guidelines that the government put out to direct us on really what a balanced diet looks like. So some examples that you might be familiar with are the Eat Well Guide. We should all know about the 5-a-day campaign in terms of fruit and vegetables, and the 8 tips for healthy eating. You may or may not want to jot these keywords and definitions down. If you do, please pause the video here. So the Eat Well Guide, it's very familiar to you all. If you picture EO6 right now, it's right at the back. There's a big poster of it on the back wall. So the Eat Well Guide doesn't apply to everyone, and that's the important thing to note here. It only applies to people over the age of 2, and it shows them what a balanced diet looks like. Now, there's 5 different groups. You've got your fruit and veg, you've got your bread, potatoes, pasta, you've got your meat, you've got your dairy products, and you've got your oils and spreads. And we're going to watch a few different videos that are going to explain the Eat Well Guide and what it actually means. So we're going to play this first video here. So while this video is playing, please could you pick out the key points that you learn from the video clip. I'll maybe pause it at certain points and give you some good points that you could jot down. So get your pen and paper ready. So this is all we need to know about the Eat Well Guide.
The Eat Well Guide makes healthy eating easier to understand by giving you an image of the types of food and drink you need and the proportions you need for a healthy and well-balanced diet. The guide applies to most of us, whether we are healthy weight or overweight, whether we eat meat or are vegetarian, and no matter what ethnic origin. The Eat Well Guide divides food and drink into 5 main food groups. These are fruit and vegetables, potatoes, bread, rice, pasta, and other starchy foods known as carbohydrates, beans, pulses, fish, egg, meat, and other proteins, dairy and alternatives like milk, cheese, and yogurt, and oils and spreads such as rapeseed oil or olive oil. Try to choose a variety of foods from each of the groups to help you get the wide range of nutrients your body needs to stay healthy and work properly. While it is important to include some fat in your diet, foods that are high in fat, salt, and sugar are placed outside the guide as they are not essential. Many of the foods we eat, such as pizza, casserole, lasagna, and sandwiches, contain ingredients from more than one of the food groups. So work out the main ingredients in the dish and fit those into the sections on the guide. For example, if you're eating a cottage pie, the potato, milk, and spread in the mashed potato fits into the yellow, blue, and purple segments. The meat or meat substitute would fall into the pink segment, and the vegetables would fit into the green segment. If you have special dietary requirements or medical needs, you might want to check with a GP or dietitian on how to adjust this guide to meet your needs. So there you have it, the FSA explains the Eat Well Guide. Find out more at food.gov.uk.
Okay, so I hope you learnt some different things from that video clip there. And please feel free to replay it over and over again so that you can get some key points jotted down. We're going to now watch another video, okay? And this is one you may have saw before already, but it gives us even more detail on the 5 very specific food groups. So again, like the video previously, if you could just watch it, maybe pause it and write down some really useful points that you need to know on the Eat Well guide.
What is the Eat Well Guide? The Eat Well Guide is a tool used to define the government's advice on a healthy, balanced diet. It shows the proportions in which different groups of foods are needed.
I think that's a really important point there that they've just spoken about. It just shows you the proportions of what you need, okay? And obviously it isn't based on what you should eat at dinner time, for example. It's based on what an entire day should look like.
In order to have a well-balanced and healthy diet. The Eat Well Guide does not necessarily represent the balance required at each meal. Rather, it represents the overall balance of a healthy diet over the day or longer. The Eat Well Guide is suitable for most people, but it does not apply to children under 2 years of age, or for some people with special dietary needs or medical conditions.
Again, another really important point there. Obviously, I told you previously that it didn't apply to children under the age of 2, but for those medical conditions, could be diabetes, they could be certain allergies. Obviously, it cannot be related to everyone, okay? It's it's just a general guide.
Children from the age of 2 to 5 should gradually move to eating foods in the proportion shown on the Eat Well Guide. It is important to choose a variety of different foods from each food group to help get a wide range of nutrients the body needs to stay healthy. What are the key messages? Eat at least 5 portions of a variety of fruit and vegetables every day. Base our meals on potatoes, bread, rice, pasta or other starchy foods, using higher fibre or whole grain versions where possible. Have some dairy or calcium fortified dairy alternatives, such as soy drinks, using lower fat and lower sugar options. Eat some beans, pulses, fish, eggs, meat and other proteins, including 2 portions of sustainably sourced fish every week, one of which should be oily. Use unsaturated oils and spreads and eat in small amounts. Drink 6 to 8 cups or glasses of fluid a day, choosing lower sugar options. If foods high in fat, salt and or sugars are included in the diet, they should be consumed less often and in small amounts. We can use food labels to help us choose foods lower in fat, salt and sugars when shopping. Where colour-coded labels are used, pick products with more green and amber and fewer reds. So remember, the Eat Well Guide describes the different types of foods and drinks we should consume, and in what proportions to have a healthy, balanced diet.
So hopefully you should have learned from that diet that if we reflect back on the 2 key words at the very beginning, I gave you the word balanced diet, healthy diet, and what were they again? Sorry, ignore me. Balanced diet and dietary guidelines. So you'll see in that video that you'll see that the dietary guideline is the Eat Well Guide. However, it is showing us what a balanced diet actually looks like, and hopefully that's what you've taken from those videos. Now, another type of dietary guideline that the government has given is the 8 tips for healthy eating. So this is where you're going to have a task to do, okay? Some of you may or may not know what these 8 tips are, but what I would like you to do is I'd like you to follow the link that I've attached, and I want you to create a poster. You might want to do this on the computer. You might want to draw it in your books. It's up to you. And I want it to state what are the 8 tips for healthy eating. So you'll want to pause this video at this point and complete the activity and return to complete the video. Okay, so hopefully you've designed a lovely poster on the 8 tips for healthy eating. Please feel free to email them to me, send me a picture of what you've done. But let's see, did you get them correct? Okay, so this video is going to explain what the 8 tips for healthy eating are.
GCSE Food Preparation and Nutrition. Healthy eating. In this episode, you will learn the 8 guidelines for a healthy diet. Eating healthily means eating a balanced diet. That's eating a variety of foods to get all the nutrients in the right proportions and quantities to be healthy. Follow these 8 guidelines for a healthy diet. Number 1. Base your meals on starchy foods like these. Number 2. Eat lots of fruit and vegetables. Choose a variety to get different combinations of vitamins and minerals. Don't stick to green either. Aim to eat a rainbow of colours. The more the better. Remember, canned, fresh and frozen, all count. Number 3. Eat more fish. Aim to eat 2 portions per week, one of which should be oily fish like salmon or mackerel. That's a good source of omega-3 fatty acid and fat-soluble vitamin D for bone health. For those who don't eat fish, you can get omega-3 from linseeds and linseed oil, also rapeseed oil, walnuts and soya-based foods like tofu. Number 4. Cut down on saturated fats and sugar. But we do need some fat in our diet to provide essential fatty acids and absorption of fat-soluble vitamin A, D, E and K. Having said that, eating too much fat and sugar can lead to weight gain. Number 5. Try to eat less salt. No more than 6 grams per day for adults. Children, much less. Eating too much salt can cause high blood pressure and an increased risk of developing heart disease and strokes. Number 6. Get active and try to be a healthy weight. Government recommendations for 19 to 64-year-olds are 150 minutes of brisk walking or cycling, or 75 minutes of high-intensity physical activity, such as running or swimming, every week. It's also recommended that you do some muscle strengthening exercise like weightlifting or carrying heavy weights on at least 2 days a week. Number 7. Drink plenty of water. Drink 1.6 to 2.5 litres every day. Finally, number 8. Don't skip breakfast, the most important meal of the day. A healthy breakfast featuring things like whole grain cereals, muesli, porridge, fruit and wholemeal toast will provide fibre, vitamins and minerals, as well as keeping you satisfied until lunch. So now you should know the 8 guidelines for a healthy diet.
Okay, so hopefully you would have got those correct from the research you would have carried out. So that rounds up our learning for today on government dietary guidelines. Hopefully you have learned a bit more about the Eat Well Guide and about the 8 tips for healthy eating. I hope you've completed all the tasks and written down any notes that you need to in your books. It would be a really good idea to have a section for the food work that we're going to do, because all this information that I tell you over these coming weeks will be vital for your GCSEs next year. Please, now that you've completed this video, can you please head over to Show My Homework and complete the quiz that I have set, and it's going to consolidate the learning that you've just completed. I will be tracking the answers and who does it, and I'll be giving you some feedback via email. Please also don't forget about the culinary task and Seneca, which will be really useful for further revision. So that's all for now. I will see you again next week. Bye!